Hey fishing friends, this is Matthew with Outfishing 13. If you enjoy my videos and you enjoy this one, make sure you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Now I brought you something special today. Like you see in the description, I bought some reels online and we're going to see if we can get them all going. So here's the box. Okay, I've got some old 202s, a couple of old 600s. I've got a couple of 404s and an old 808 right over here. It looks pretty crusty. But I think that they're going to be okay. Some of these might not even been used. They might just have been used once or twice and then put on a shelf and just collected dust. So I've already tried out some of these and there's some of them are stiff. Some are going to work okay. We're going to see if we can fix them all up. So in this video, I'm going to try going through all of these, and so I may skip like parts, but go and look in my description, in my rest of my videos, for specific videos on how to service one of these reels. So I'll do that as I go and have those service videos out for you. Anyways, let's give it a shot, see what we find out. I really didn't pay a lot for these. I think I paid about $10 or $12, not including shipping, for this box of reels. So that was pretty good. A couple bucks a reel. Let's see what we can do. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with the 202s first. So I'm just going to put these back in my box. And we'll start on at 202. All right, let's diagnose what's going on with this 202. So if you've watched any of my other service videos, you know you just need a few things to service a Zebco reel. You need a pair of pliers, maybe a screwdriver, a big one, maybe a small one. You're going to need some grease, and I have two types of grease I use. I use a Tri-Flow grease, that's a brand, and it's a lighter weight grease. Or you can buy real grease like this. It comes in a little tube. And you need some real oil. I've got some hot sauce here by Quantum. And you need a really good quality grease to use on the gears. I like to use this Lucas red grease. I had a big tube of it I use on my axles on my fishing boat, the bearings, and I like this stuff. So, and you just need, these can be cleaned out. If they're really dirty, you can clean them with soap and water after you've taken them all apart and dry them out really well and put them back together with oil. Okay, so let's take the front off. This actually looks like it's in good shape. I mean, it's very clean. It's not even that dirty. It has a few scratches right here. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, it reels pretty smoothly. It's not stuck. The inside is pretty clean. This looks clean. Now this is the 202 that doesn't have pickup pins. It just has all these little notches on there. So to take this off, you'll either need a little wrench or a big screwdriver or a coin. So we'll take that off, set that aside, and take off this little spinner piece here. Okay. Okay, it's got a little retainer here to hold the spool in. Let's take that off. There we go. Now these drags are not what I would say are the best drags in the world. They're very simple. It's just a little cam that pushes down on the spool back there. Oh look, we got some spider webs in there. So, you know what? All we need to do for this reel here is add some oil and clean it up and call it good. But it's a very simple system here. Let me just take it on this one. I'm going to go ahead and take off the reel handle and take out the anti-reverse and show you how simple it is. Main gear. This is anti-reverse. It can only go in one way. It can't go this way. It has to go in this way. This little piece right here is a little bit shorter and it's shaped a little bit differently. All it does is it just sets down in there like that. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to clean up this body here. We're going to put some grease on the inside of that to grease up the shaft. Okay, so we've got this front spinner cone on. I've got the line here kind of where I want it. I'm going to hold this line right over here kind of out of the way and screw the cone back on. And look at that, that works pretty good. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, we got the next 202 that we're going to work on. Okay, this one doesn't turn very well. It turns, but not very well. It's not staying in the cocked position. So basically, this one is just like this other one we just did. Let's dive in and see what we got going with it. This has some pretty heavy line on it. Wow, that is really heavy line. Back here looks pretty good. Got some junk in there. Looks like some bees' wings were in there. Okay, it's pretty stiff here. I think it just needs to be taken apart and lubed. So let's do that. I'm going to take this off here. Make sure it gets back in the same way. Now these are made of metal, and so, but I can tell that somebody oiled this up, but they may have used a low quality oil on there to basically turn it into varnish. Okay, I got that good and clean. That's all it needed. Okay, I think that this is going to be a good reel. Let's put it back together real quick. I'll put it back together. You don't need to watch that. I'll put it back together and let's see how it works. Okay, remember when I took this apart? The last one? This one, somebody had taken it apart and put it in that way, and the anti-reverse wasn't working. So all you gotta do, take and put it this way. The long side goes here, the short side goes down, and then the anti-reverse will work properly. So you'll reel forward, but it won't go back. Somebody had it the wrong way. So that was another problem with this one. We'll get that fixed, get it back together. Here we go. Okay, I got this second one back together. It needs some new line, but it reels in. It's much smoother now. I can actually reel it in, and the push button works. Needs a little bit of drop of oil right here on this handle. That's one thing a lot of people don't service is their handle, but you need a little drop of oil once in a while. But the drag works. It's not the best, but with some 10-pound test on this, this will be ready to go fishing. All right, let's look at the next one. Okay, here's our next victim. It's a Zebco 202. It's got little double handles here. It's got the metal seat here. If somebody comments below, let me know what year you think this is made in. My guess is this one was made back in the 70s or 80s. They didn't change how they were, but basically I can't turn the handle on this one at all. The button doesn't push in. So this may be a lost cause, but let's see if we can figure it out. So let's take the front off. Looks clean on the inside there. This has got a little bit different of a the brake here, the line brake, but basically it's the same. So if I grab a hold of this, I can actually spin it some. So my guess is it's just the same thing. It was oiled with the wrong kind of oil, and it's all seized up on there. This has got a little brass nut here. That's nice. Spin. This moves. So let's take this off. There we go. That looks kind of dirty. We'll get that cleaned up though. Okay, got that out. Okay, the anti-reverse on this one is the old style that goes up against there. So I'm going to take this apart and get it all lubed up and put back together. See, this handle right here is just seized in there. The inside looks nice. I just need to wipe it out. So I'll be back when I get this finished up. Now you can see how varnished the old oil on there is. That's because somebody used like 3-in-1 oil or something on there. I'm going to clean these up and put it back together, and we'll have another reel I think that's going to work. Nothing is broken on here. So this is all nice and loose. We just need to put it back together, clean it all up. This seems to be working just fine. So we're in good shape. Okay, I got this now cleaned up. Let's put it back together. This little pin right there is got to go in that little hole right there. This is easy. I'll take it off later. I'll see this on here now for service yet. Okay, a little grease on here. Should get that all be on there with that. See it down there. Make sure the orange oil's up there. Put a little bit of lube right there. Put the back on. Put the handle on first, then slip it over like that. Put it together. Okay, remember on this one I couldn't even push the button. There we go. Line comes out. Line reels in. The drag works. This is actually an older reel, and it works better than those other ones. So well, that's pretty nice. So there's number 3. All serviced and ready to go. All right. Now this is when you need to stop and subscribe to my channel, because this is awesome. Okay, that was the 3 202s. Let's move on to the 404s now. I got 2 of those. Okay, here's my first 404. As you can see, it's got a lot of rash on it. It's pretty dirty. Nut here looks like it's a little bit rusty. It does turn, but it's pretty stiff. It cocks, but that's pretty slow too. So let's take a look at in the inside. Now, I'm going to do a complete service video on this reel, and so check out my service video for a 404. Okay, the inside's pretty dirty. I can see this has been fished in some dirty water, and it's got some draining dirt there. These particular reels didn't have a pickup pin. They used this kind of this scalloped edge here to trap the line in, to reel it in. That's a good system. And they last a long time because they're not inclined to wear out on you. Okay, let's get this off. That's a little bit stiff. I'm going to put some penetrating oil on this right away. Let that start soaking in. Take this off. This looks like in good shape. Doesn't have very much line on it. This one has an anti-reverse switch here, which the 202s don't have. And the anti-reverse doesn't seem to be working. I'll have to figure out what's going on there. Okay, this one right here, I can leave the handle on and actually slip it out. But you can see it's kind of rusty here. Let's take that handle off. The inside here looks pretty good. The button's not worn out, but it's pretty dirty. Okay, these comes with the steel gears, steel shaft, the steel shaft here. The pinion gear is steel. The drag system is just like the 202s. It just uses this spring here that tightens up on top of the spool and to come out there. So it's not a really super awesome drag system, but it's still pretty good. So let's see what's going on with this. But it might just need to be lubed up. So I'm going to take and spray some of this on here. Let's put some of this on here. Let that start soaking in rust. Okay, let's take this. That comes out nice and easy. Before we pull this out, we're going to take and get this rust off of there so I'm not dragging all that rust right through my plastic bushing. So I'm going to take and clean that up with a steel brush before you pull it through. Okay, there, that's better. Okay, this is part of the anti-reverse. So I'm going to take it off, but remember it goes that way with this little finger that goes this way. I'm going to go inside the house and get me some warm water to wash off this cover here and this cover here. I want them looking good. Everything else on here is pretty clean. You know, if you drop this in the water and it gets a bunch of dirt in there, take it home and take it apart and clean it up. If you drop it in the sand, say you're fishing on the shore and you drop it in the sand and you get dirt and grit in there, take it home and clean it up. You know, these are really simple reels to service, and they'll last a long time if they're taken care of. They look cheap, but they're actually built really tough. They're just not your high-end best reel that there is. Okay, I'm going to take and clean this up with a little bit of sandpaper. Okay, we're just going to put some WD on this and clean that rust off. Okay, look at that. Cleaned right up. Okay, I'm going to clean out these gears here. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to go wash these covers inside. Okay, I got it all cleaned up. The back cover and the front cover looks a lot better, but it's not going quite right. So I think what we need to do here is we need to take this off right here, and we need to straighten it out. It's bent a little bit, and we need to pinch it together just a little bit. Okay, that's good. Add a little bit of oil to that. A little bit of grease. And let's try it this time. Okay, get that little finger in there. And now watch what happens with this little lever. See that? It moves it up for the anti-reverse. And it doesn't interfere very much with that. That's all it takes. Okay, there's that. And the anti-reverse and the drag works fine. Yeah, it's working okay. It's fine. Okay, well, if you like this video, make sure you give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Right over there. Push the button.